Good morning and welcome back to the Coin King channel. I am your host, Down to Crypto TA. Right now, Bitcoin's 4 hour is not looking too good at the moment. It's not necessarily this little bear flag that I'm looking at either. Time will tell if we're actually going to break down from this and just how much we're going to break down from it. I was looking somewhere around this 73 here at the top side of our weekly average range. We are seeing a little bit of a bounce right now coming from the golden pocket, from this little golden pocket right here, catching the bid here at the 200 EMA as well. We did not, we took a lot of the liquidity yesterday, but the main liquidity that we did not manage to make our way up to is the 89,258.7. I actually posted on this last night. So I think Bitcoin was somewhere around about maybe $200 off from it. And it turned the corner before even making its way up there. So the liquidity at the low, we're about $800 away from that, and that's like 86. We'll just say 86,300 on that. It actually reads 86,298.7. So we're pretty close to that. It's going to be closer to this 786. You also have the point of control and the value area low in here as well. I'm pretty sure. Well, I had it on here, but the same zone in here in which we kept getting the bounce from yesterday, which was basically this wick here, was holding as support across the lows in here. So the most volume was taking place here. And then, of course, that's what gave us the push to the upside. So we can see that how strong this area right here could be for price action if we do manage to come back down into here and take the liquidity down at these lows. I was looking at the daily in here, and let me just hide that for a second. I have this on so many other places. I'm just going to delete it from here. And if I need to come back to it, then I will. Simple line plot there. This was a pretty good change of behavior here on the RSI. But we still don't have any bullish divergence here on the daily time frame just yet. And I can see that we did put in a slight bear div here as well. So that's something to be mindful of. Besides that, nothing much has actually changed. Actually, let me take a look at let me see what happened in here, if anything. It's Meta. Okay, so nothing that we did not already discuss. Actually, this was a part of the analysis that I did when I posted on CMC, looking to hold right here at this 26. At this 26. Okay. So yeah, this to me looks like we're gonna get some continuation here to the downside. Like maybe even get into that liquidity as I mentioned, somewhere down here around the 786, as opposed to this little bounce that we did get here off of the 618. Rest of the market saw a nice little bounce yesterday as well. A continuation from their weekend pump, so that was pretty good. Ethereum at the moment is holding the low of the dynamic cloud here. It's also coming down. I have to see if it also put in like a bear flag, which it looks like it. Not necessarily. It would have been one that actually broke above. I can't say it's a channel in here though. Potentially a channel. Yeah. So bear flag too. So a few bear flags. But holding support very well. Like I said, the last time what we're looking at in here, so 227.71 to 649. And if we don't manage to break through the resistance up here, let's just say we get a push down and we have to drop in a little bit lower, then we'd probably be looking at 24.15 to 22.49 here would be the next zone of support for Ethereum. This is pretty solid through here. It's pretty solid though. For Solana right now. Okay, holding the weekly level at 134.89. Let me see. Why am I not? I'm having a problem here. Trying to see why the levels are not showing up properly here for Solana. Put it on the weekly chart real quick so I can see. Okay, I just need to extend them out. Delete that. All right, so that's just what we were back testing here. The top side here at 134.89. So looking for this to be our low. But like I said yesterday, if you can get Solana, underneath. This is, I guess that was my problem right there. It wasn't syncing. If you can get Solana underneath, below that too, then it's a great place to pick up at. But otherwise, that's great. Value area low, 200 EMA, ascending trend line in here, platinum pocket, and then of course if we break that again, I would be looking somewhere down here somewhere between $40 to $30 for SOL. I mean, you will have some support levels through here as well, but it could start to get nasty. That happens. I did go ahead last night and take a look at some of the other altcoins, and I'm going to get into those. I'm just going to put it back over here on Bitcoin real quick. Just want to see what Bitcoin is doing. Like I said, the 4 hour is not looking the best to me at the moment. But we did walk the line for quite a long time here on that 4 hour time frame too. So I want to make sure we're not getting ready to do a nasty rollover like the last time, because that's what I'm starting to read here in the chart. So I'm just trying to make sure that that's not going to be the case. You can see here for the most part, most of the liquidity that we did get into last night. Yesterday, I was only looking, when we were on stream, I was looking for us to get into the liquidity in here. We got that liquidity, and then we proceeded to continue up, even came back and back tested this little zone in here. I was looking for the 90, actually it was the $90,000 that I was saying yesterday, but we got up to around 89, 177, and then we rolled down, and like I said, just a few $100 off from grabbing the main liquidity in here. Don't know what happened. That would have been the max pain on the shorts, and that didn't happen. Let me show you what that actually looks like in case you've never used that one before. So CoinGlass has this liquidation max pain chart in here that you can take a look at. Use that, kind of see where you're on and off from your long liquidations here. About $700 off from that at 86,298, and then like I said last night in here, we were about $200 away from the short max pain liquidations here at 89,258. We fumbled the ball somehow, but I can see us running out of the steam there. You can see some of your other ones through here as well. I actually clipped it all the way down to Zcash. All the way down to Zcash. It's useful. It is useful. At best, maybe we can hold this low here because we are at the support level as well for for that 4 hour. And you saw that with the bear flag or potential bear flag there. Um, we're at that support low down here with that. So hopefully we can bounce up, come back up, and get that bit of liquidity before we see us roll over. I did enter into the long position. I wasn't quite sure here in the golden pocket initially because we were coming into the resistance underneath here. So I chilled for a minute before jumping into it. So I might just be getting ready to roll back over here. I got another alert on Zcash last night with that weekly time frame. We're gonna take a look at that as well. As it looks like it is starting to, like I said, we're gonna get closer and closer to that lower trend line in here for Zcash before we break it. I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. I hope you made some cash yesterday. I actually closed out one of my long positions that I had, and then I moved over to play around a little bit in the stock market. Played with Nvidia just a little bit yesterday, which is still lagging behind most of some of the other big techs with price moves. Um, this same trend line right here is going to be, it's going to be critical for this 4 hour time frame. I mean, this 1 hour time frame also. I mean, duh. You could see an expansion if you break down from here on this 4 hour. I mean, this 1 hour though. Could see an expansion. I have the next golden pocket 786 in here. Yesterday we were off of this pivot here. Today we're off this pivot here. And within this golden pocket 786, this is where the 4 hour could get that expansion. So I mean, we're walking a line in here, walking a very thin line in here. Go ahead and pull the fib over here for this one. like I said, first things first is gonna be seeing if we can't find support here again, somewhere between the 786 and this line here, where we got multiple bounces from yesterday. And then this is just the low for maybe liquidity sweep and that 85,000. See if we can't hold that as support if we continue to push to the downside here, which will likely be the case if we're breaking below this trend line here. And then from there, it'd be golden pocket 786. I mean, that's what we have to work with. Otherwise, we come back up and we get that liquidity. Once we start to get some traction in here, I'm gonna jump onto the those additional altcoins like your XRP, SUI, ADA, Hype, a couple of those that I marked out yesterday. Thank you. Let's see. I did not get a chance to go through the stock picks, you know, the mags or anything like that yesterday. I worked on some of the altcoins a little bit, and I wasn't feeling so well, and I slept most of the day away. So we're holding up pretty good so far. This doesn't look like something we would just blast through. But if we did, it'd probably be an instant rejection. Just letting you know that. Yeah, today we also have at 8:30 we do have PPI data. And at 10, we have pending home sales and Richmond Manufacturing Index. Federal budget balance is tentative. I'm getting started kind of late with my breakfast here, so please excuse me. Oh yeah, yesterday, yesterday when we was looking at the 4-hour time frame as well, I mentioned that you would probably get a week low. That's not going to be the case today. If you heard anything else I said, that's not going to be the case today. If we do break down from that bear flag, what's holding you here at the low of this bear flag is going to be your 20 SMA, just as it was yesterday down here at the low. So it's riding the lower part of this bear flag. So if we pop this, we break this, then expect maybe a measure move. Let's see. Let's just do something like this. I'm not going to get crazy with it. If it gets crazy, then it gets crazy. But like I said, maybe something like that. Possibly down here towards this point. Possibly. Okay. Now don't take it to heart. Do not take it to heart. Just possibly, okay? But I could see yesterday we were flat across here, which is why I was saying probably get a week low because it was flat across here. It's not flat today, which means we get an expansion. Okay. And if your sentiment is negative, it could be an opportunity to get short. I don't know why this color is bugging me right now. I'm going to use the same color, but okay, that's better. Just a little too dark. And we're starting to squeeze on that 1 hour. Following our bearish divergence. You can see it better from the one as we come into this resistance in here. But here, you can see your bear div. And then break and drop. I don't know why I'm constantly having an issue with Blowfin refreshing the charts. I'll be looking at Trading View and have one reading, and then I'll be looking at Blowfin. I'll be like, the numbers aren't adding up. Then I have to refresh it. and get the updated data and see the P&L change, but not always the candlestick update. I haven't taken a look at OI today. Oh man, kind of screwed up over here now. Changing my chart. What is this? Okay. I'll tell you what, we got a nice spike out of that $100,000 level. We got a nice spike out of that one, which is looking different than what it was before. Got a drop in at 80 as opposed to yesterday. After the move over the weekend plus yesterday, that could have had a, played a factor in that. That's a nice change right there. I don't know if you recall how sunken this had got beforehand. Actually, this was never up there. It was always the puts. So let's see what we get. If we get attracted to this, that'd be nice. If we get attracted to that, we didn't even hit that 90 yesterday. It will end up being a magnet, that's for sure. It will end up being a magnet. Just what comes first? Is this 4 hour about to spill the beans, or can we hold in here, given how bad it was before? I thought the 5-minute time frame was going to make it a little bit better. It's not. We have to be putting in bear deals. We're going so slow. I'm pretty sure of it because we're moving way too slow. Moving way too slow. Yeah, one big bear div right there. Excuse me. Yeah, we struggling this morning a little bit. A little bit. It's back over here on the 15. We're at our resistance. The lows don't seem that strong. Let's see what else it could be. Apparently they are. Pretty much all the altcoins yesterday when I was looking at them had bear divs. Yeah, had bear divs. On that 4 hour time frame, it was, yeah, mainly what I looked at. Once I got everything set up was the 4 hour, and everything had the bear div. Because of course we never put in any bullish divergence on the 4 hour time frame. So that is the case. This could probably, if it does finally get beyond these lows in here and into the resistance level in here, you could see another bear div in here, another flush down. I hate to sound like a broken record when I say this. It's, just highlighting the possibility of what could be. I mean, it'd be great if it does actually manage to find some strength, or if the bear div doesn't drop prices too much, and then we, can continue this move to the upside. Just looks kind of weird right now. It looks really weird. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. Wow. Okay, so what I am going to do, because Bitcoin is ugh, it's really chilling right now. I can tell the volume must be crap. The volume must be absolute crap. It is. It is. Absolute dogma. Okay. Tapping VWAP 2. Hmm. Hmm. Finally got some action here. Finally got some action. And if you don't know which EMAs I use, I tell you, I use the 5, I use the 10, I use the 26, I use the 60, and I use the 200. And I do it for specific reasons. Where most people probably do 5, 10, 20, 50, 2, and I have some higher ones I will use too, but these two are the main difference, 26 and 50, I mean 60, 26 and 60. Um, most occasions, most of the time, more than not, this 26 is going to be about the same as a 20 SMA. Most cases. Wherever this is sitting at, your 20 is probably sitting at too. So I tend to use that. So you can see it right here, 5, 10, 26, 60, 200, 5, 10, 20, 60, 100. I will change that every now and then. But like I said, this right here will equate to this right here, which is why I use it. So if I put on SMAs, yeah, see how close? That's the 20 right there. You can see where that 26 was sitting at. So they sit relatively in the same position. So I like to use that. And the 10 here is going to be like a standard deviation 1, not on your SMA, but on your EMA. So with the EMA ribbon, EMA 10, this is going to be where your standard deviation on the Bollinger more than likely would match up with this right here, with this one. And then the 60 sometimes will match up with the top side of your Bollinger. But anyway, they all tie together. It makes it easier. All right. Need to go through here and clean up some of the stuff I have in here. You can see where that 20 was at. It's kind of like what we're tapping just in. It's that 20 when I had it open. This just isn't looking right. Something looks off. Some sort of a swing fail. Just hoping it pushed in here first and then do the rejection. This little rising structure right here. I had it right the first time, but so I won't worry so much about the one on top. We'll know it'll break down below that. Little wedgie structure there. Be a lot like the one that was over here. Let's see how Solana and the rest of the gang is doing. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let me just say that, sir. Bitcoin to 35K. Bitcoin to 35K, huh? I don't think I had 35K as a marker or not. Can't remember. It's not going to be 35K today for sure. All right, that's holding up pretty okay. I don't know how my data got deleted in here, but oh, okay, I know how. It's not the right one. Here we go. Here we go. Close 35K is close enough. It's close enough to I don't have 35K in the radar for myself. This is bear market low target for me with the possibility of actually breaking below what we would normally do, with the possibility of doing that, but not no 35K. If it does do 35K, then well, great, I suppose. It does tend to drop somewhere in between 786, 886, but my read is coming up a little bit different this time. Whether or not it holds or not, that's going to be the thing. I mean, it has worked every other time, so I'm gonna have to stick with this for now, with the exception that the RSI could get nasty on this monthly time frame and probably take us a little bit lower than here. Generally, you don't take out the low. You usually don't take it out. But it does get worse every cycle. It gets a little bit worse every cycle. Right now, I'm still looking for, this situation right here. Like before, which we are getting, which is something that we talked about here. The I mean, so far, but the month is still young and we don't know. Looking for that bounce like over here before we come down. So possible head and shoulder formation to break us in here. Measured move would be something like this. If this is correct in any way, if it's correct. I don't even know where the break would come from just yet. But if it's correct. But I can see your point in 35,000 being that it does tend to retrace somewhere down into here. I can see your case. Appreciate you, Carlos. All right, we're in our zone. We're in our zone. See what that volume is looking like now. Still crappy. It's just thinking about closing. At this 50. All right, I'm gonna let that rest. We made our way up here. I'm gonna go ahead and look at something else real quick. Um, all right, so Zcash, you know what we've been watching here on Zcash. Zcash is our send and broadening top formation as we're starting to get a little bit closer and closer and closer to coming down here towards the low of our ascending trend line in here. If we finally do eventually get there and we get that break, because I was getting the alert yesterday on, again, here on this weekly here. Be looking for a break below that. You would get a pop back up, undoubtedly. Zcash will pop back up. That's just how it works. Um, so maybe even just coming down here towards this 397. That could be where we see it pop back up. Or maybe even breaking SFP, this low right here, once it breaks. But again, it is going to come back up. It's going to come back up. It didn't make this golden pocket that go around. We got stopped out right here at Euphoria. I think this is coming from, yeah, the weekly right here. That's coming from a weekly here. Can press your luck. See if you can't long off of here. They may want to take the liquidity over this trend line first and then come back into it. So that's an option too. Maybe a quick sweep of liquidity off this trend line and reclaim back in. The next pop up probably could more than likely be the it could be the last one, or you just start bear diving a lot harder. One of the two. So it could do something like this right here, where you take the liquidity over the trend line and then come back in. Could be something like that over here on this low in here. So I'm just sitting on my hands a little bit right now with Zcash. There's been some opportunities in here for some loans, which I did initially, but then I decided it's time to just leave this thing alone for a sec. Let it do its business. See if we can't get that move down and then get interested. Ultimately, I will be looking down here. It's been sitting on my chart since back here. And we just kept moving. We got one back test on it, but yeah, I think this is why I was calling for the resistance. Yep, that's correct. This is why I was calling for the resistance against Bitcoin. That was when I first put this on here. But as you can see, it continued up way more. Way more. So I'll be looking forward to come back into here because this is where it initially caught resistance against Bitcoin when we got this little wick move down right here. And that is Zcash. It doesn't look like we would deviate too far off from this if we tapped into it. It doesn't look like we would do that. So that is what I'm waiting for. I was also looking at right here. So if you know, right in here, you also have your VWAP. VWAP is all the way down here too. So we'll see what this ends up. It'll be right here. It'll be right here. This is 1 year. 1 year. Prefer to work with VWAP on high time frames, especially when you have something moving like this thing right here did. This is the best thing for me to do is to work off of a high time frame. Don't like VWAP on low time frames. Period. I like it like this. So that's what I be looking for. Something like this. Ultimately, something like this. For now, I'll be looking for this tap first. Lose that. And anyway, where we don't reclaim like we did over here, then I'll be looking down in here. And then lastly, I think this will be the final blow to it right here. So I did go through here, take a look at some of these. I mean, we already know I could cut a price action in here. Nothing really changed. Nothing too much changed. This could be our bottom. I mean, we bounced away from this level multiple times. It could hold. It could suffice. That could have did it. And if I put on, I mean, I don't need to, because this level has held very strong. I don't really. I would do this, but I don't care. I don't care about using it. See, this is up here. I like my levels better. I'll use this in Confluence, but I like my stuff better. So this is the low down here, 192, and you can even see my level. It pops through every now and then, pops through it. But I can see this. I can see where it turned up those few times in here off of this right here. So I could see that because I would, if I wasn't doing these the way I do them, then I would have did that, where I turned it to a line chart and pulled from the line first to the wick. But that works. It looks like it could have been a bottom. Time will tell whether it is or not. I think this was right about bear market lows in here, around about $100 for XRP. I don't have that in here. And gosh, I hate to turn another indicator on you, right? I got about 50 indicators on already. Let me take this off of here. All right, on the year. You can see what that's looking like on the year. So mainly it has been coming back into band 2. Band 2. It's right here. Band 2. So somewhere through here. It looks like it's your low. Somewhere through here. If it does, again, like I said, I was leaning towards. No, I think XRP stayed where for a very long time. Oh no, down here 50 cents. Heck no. We're not trying to see that. We're not trying to see that. So I think that this right here could have been the low for it. If not, I look back at band 2 in here, maybe even back down here where this whip was at. Let me take a look at, I don't have it on, but I'm going to do it. I think that was like bear market low. Okay, it didn't even tap into it. It would be somewhere in here though. Bear market low would be somewhere down towards here. So when this drop happened, it didn't quite tap into it. Hopefully that doesn't become the case for it. I know if Bitcoin does start to spill the beans, as Carlos was saying 35K, then you would see something like this. And there's lots of room, lots of volatility room in here for XRP. But right now that's my story and I'm sticking to it. That these won't even start to compress until we get to the 1 year. and that's when they'll start to compress. For now, I would work off of that and look for that move back up here into this trend line in here. It's gonna probably, yeah, that's gonna more than likely mesh up somewhere around here with your VWAP. With your VWAP. And that is this one. What's this top one? Then there was Crow. And then there was Crow. Crow, is in sort of the same situation that Zcash was in, where you had the ascending broadening formation in here. So I would be looking for a move back down here. Potentially. It is at some pretty decent support in here, but it's not going sideways enough. And typically that's what you'll see. You'll see it start to walk sideways. So I'm not looking for this to be some sort of a V-shaped recovery by any stretch of the imagination. Want to look for it to do exactly what it did in here before it starts to squeeze and then give another push to the upside. So I would look for it to walk sideways for a minute, consolidate for a while, be weeks out on that. Right now, it's that 9 cents, about 10 down here to that low. And then we get into here, maybe even taking the liquidity here. That's a possibility, but that would be 7 in here. And typically, you don't want to see that. That's not what. I'm not sure how well this is done here. Yeah, it's already in bear market territory. It hasn't taken out this low before, but all things are possible, right? All things are possible. So at best, right now, I'm going to say I would look for a move down here, maybe take out liquidity and do that 7 right there. Maybe do that. This on, let me put it back over here on the daily real quick so I can do that. I mean, you can see your band 1. That is, it has held that rather strong throughout this entirety here. And back at it again. Let's look over here. It doesn't have any loyalty to any one band, but right now, that meshes up with what we were looking at for other altcoins, retracing into their lows, and it's holding here for now. So I would bank on this for now until we lose that. And then again, like I said, I'll be looking somewhere in here, right back here to the ascending trend line low in here. It has held up for a while. So that's your macro trend line for Chronos. That's what I would look for, since it is, like I said, the macro trend line for Chronos. That's what I would look for. Going into next year. All right, Bitcoin might be getting ready to roll back down there. And I'm just speaking to looking to accumulate right now, not to the upside just yet. We don't know what crypto is going to be like here uh, going forward. So I'm still recover information to appear before I do that. All right, we have here. Yeah, this could get nasty. Sui. Right now, it is holding. It is holding. This is standard deviation one to the bottom side here. This is off of a monthly here, so that's standard deviation one to the bottom there. I think that also lined up with something in here. No, it didn't. It did not. It did not. Unfortunately, it did not. Um, but it is your bandwidth one. I'm sorry, your standard deviation one here. So what I would look for, I just want to take the number out because I can see what it is. If it does, I mean, it could get nasty. It could get nasty. Because liquidity sucked on Sui. It did. For Sui to drop all the way down to bear market low, and that was like absolutely tap. Put you on the monthly. Yeah. And it was just without taking out because you don't want to see that. This would have been what I would have drawn in and said, okay, this is our low. You don't want to take out that low. It did just that without taking out that low. So if things start to get nasty, the liquidity was pretty low in here. I'd be looking somewhere down here around 25 cents. Hard to say, hard for me to say that, but that is what I would do. It was hard for me when I made the video on Sui too, and Sui was here, and Sui, I was saying that Sui was in here somewhere. It had already got the bounce off of the golden pocket, and I was like, that doesn't look right. And I was saying Sui looked like it's gonna come down here. Price was up here. I said you can buy it if you can stomach price coming down here to 195. Whole video on Sui talking about that before all of this happened. I said 195 down here to this low. We superseded that, but that was what was showing up in the chart for me at the time when I was reading it. So I'm just gonna say it like it's possible. 25 cents would be possible. Right now we are respecting this, and this is great, but 25 cents would be possible. And it's a liquidity thing. It's about not enough people holding Sui spot as opposed to leverage trading Sui. Because that's how all of that happened. Liquidity. So I still hold my Sui. I still hold it. Because like I said, if you can stomach the move to the downside, then okay, bye. And I said do it spot. Do it spot. Don't leverage it because you're gonna chance that it's gonna fall down here. So 25 could be a thing for it. Start to lose this right here. It starts to lose this. 25. When we do start to change market structure, I will start talking about price action to the upside, but right now it's not my focus. I just kind of left this on here. This was something that we were looking at a while back when we saw this range in here and the measured move for the range, which we ended up tapping and tapping. I'm just trying to see if we'll break back inside of here. Right now, this isn't damaging. I think this is, yeah, this is a month. Like I always tell you, when stuff gets extended like that, where your deviation, it's like Zcash. That's a good example for me to use. It's like Zcash, and I'm gonna jump on Zcash real quick. Okay, Bitcoin is holding. That's great. That's a great example since it's still relatively up here. Turn that off. When you get stuff that does this, you see where this is? It's gonna fall back in this. It always does. It always does. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens. Because it's deviated. It's a strong deviation. Price action move very strong, and that's great and all that good stuff. But it's gonna pull back inside of that. The next month, this will move a little bit. How much does it move? That is the thing. But these last 2 months of it being outside of here, trust and believe it's going to come back inside of it. That's what's going to happen. That was the situation here with BNB. You're gonna fall back in. Like it did it a few times at least, you know, over the years where it has popped outside. And you see that? This is where it was sitting at, actually right here at the time when it had to fall back in. And it might stay between euphoria and harmony right here. And that's what we're looking at right now. So that's what you were seeing on my chart. When you saw that, that's what you were looking at. That. And then I just dropped down because I know it's going to come back into it. I know that. And likely when it does come back into it, it comes back into this one. You get your final push to the upside, and then, you start to meet your mean. But right now, that's where it's holding up at, harmony, right here. You look for it to continue to hold there after coming back also towards this trend line in here. As you can look forward to why do you look like that? Let me move that for some reason. What time frame did I draw you on that you looked off? Yeah, okay. You're always going to come back to your raise too. So your momentum, once you start to lose it, you're always going to come back into these two. So hold here, don't hold here. Be looking down here towards this one. where you see the blue at 687.71, and also the ascending trend line that's right in here for it. But right now it is respectfully respecting our point of harmony here. If it pushes back up, I look for it to push back up into that. Maybe it even breaks it and then breaks back down below it. But once it does it again, like I said, more than likely it'll end up somewhere down here. That's just the nature of the beast. That's how it moves. Also, now I know this one, I think this did mesh up pretty good here. In here, yeah, VWAP. VWAP right there. So looks all right now. I do want to see it break back above these lows in here though. I want to see that and then start to look at the possibility of recovering somewhat before a continuation. If we're moving into the bear market, we are in the bear market. The lows in here on this thing in terms of a bear market would be none other than towards the low part here. Wouldn't want to see it drop below this low. It has done good so far when you don't violate. So maybe just back to this one, back to 536 in bear market hope for buying. And you can press your luck there. If you want to press your luck here, you can. Just wait for this rollover on Bitcoin. You can. This one behaved very well against Bitcoin dominance, unlike Zcash that, for whatever reason, did not. This one did good. Was stalling out as would have been expected. This on a weekly. Yeah. Because that's what we got into when it hit the resistance right here. It broke the range in here. And then it ended up falling back inside of it. But 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So this one did behave properly, I would say, against Bitcoin dominance. Zcash, on the other hand, I did not like Zcash for a while. I did not. And I didn't add the other levels through here either. I did not like this chart for a while. Because nothing I was doing was working against it. And like I said, I didn't add. It's a lot more of resistance through here, but what I was looking at would have had it pausing out around the, we did the first one. And that was where you saw that box on my chart. This was the first resistance. That's where you saw the box on my chart for price to, that yellow box on Zcash. But then there was the situation with the EMAs. Over here on the weekly. We got into here and I was like, yeah, 200 is here. And you can see how I just blasted through that. And this might actually be the second Yeah, this is part two. Shoot, we were here. We were here. This was the first resistance that I was screaming about. And then we got that little push down. And then I did add additional ones in here, and it just kept going. Crazy. The monthly nor the 3 month actually held it back, which was weird. Which is weird for me. And then when I saw it breaking this, it was wild. Absolutely wild. But you will come back. It will come back and meet this. What's this? This is absolutely wild. Bananas. Yeah, I stopped looking at it. I stopped looking at it because it wasn't making sense. But anyway, what's your thing with BNB? You got confluence along this trend line too, which is your 60. Usually when you pop that 60, yeah. Like I said, you could potentially end up down here, somewhere. Back down here towards this one. In a bear market situation. Otherwise I look for this to hold through here for BNB. A da. Turn this off. And you see your trend line down here for ADA across the lows in here, which ADA's already popped into bear market territory. It's already in it. Doing pretty good holding here. This is your standard deviation 1 off your lows here. That's where you're at. Your standard deviation 1 off of your lows. Looking forward to holding here also your weekly range low down here at 40 cents. If it drops this, then I would look down here at 37, maybe even to 30 in here. I'm not looking for this to actually come down here to 19, but can it? I mean, if it could do all that, then I'm assuming that it can. In a bad situation, it would have to be an absolutely bad situation. On the weekly, it's not prepared just yet. Would be looking forward to go sideways a little bit through here. It's getting close, maybe a week or two. It could hold this low in here. At least come back down here and back test this trend line through here. This zone that's highlighted right here. You're somewhere near a low, I would say, here for ADA. It's a good place to be picking up, in my opinion. You're well below your 200. You're well below your 200. And your low for something like this right here, because I hear people talk about death crosses and all that using EMAs. I don't use EMAs for death crosses. They don't tend to play out very well simply because you're looking for price to compress, volume to drop. It's a lot of different things you're looking for. You're looking for your ribbons to have compressed as well, and all that's going to happen with price action, like it compressed over here. Like you shouldn't be expanding. You're not going to see an expansion and get a death cross. That's not how it works. You don't have an expansion and your 50 and your 200 cross, and you call that a death cross. No, no, price is not expanding when you get a death cross. It's compressed when you get a death cross. Like your volatility range is really low when you get a death cross, not something like this. This is price action that's already happened. So by the time you do get one on this one, then you could probably count that as your low. By the time your 50 crosses below your 200, if it even crosses below your 200, that would be your low for something like that. And I don't think that there is a good example in here. We'll put this on a daily since they tend to look at it on a daily because otherwise you don't see one. I still wouldn't use EMAs for no death cross. I just wouldn't. There's your death cross. If you're looking at it from a daily, yeah, most certainly wouldn't. No, I won't. I wouldn't use no EMAs. They lag. They lag. So that's your death cross right there. It's nowhere near a cross up right now, but you're just looking to hold somewhere between there and somewhere between the 37. I'm sorry, 37, 33. This zone in here next. If you fail that, it's a good thing to watch too here on your daily time frame, your RSI here. Not saying you won't have to move it, because if you get a SFP, you will. Swing fail, break up, break down, swing fail. You will have to move it if you see that. And I know on the 4 hour, just straight bear diving, you can see that right here. Bear div, bear div, bear div, bear div, bear div, bear div, bear div. Just straight bear diving all the way down. And even here, when I was looking at your altcoins yesterday, just bear divs, continuous bear divs. So your next zone right here, lose that. Next zone. And again, I don't think that this happens 19. You can consider it. I don't think that happens with ADA. We don't know. So Next zone is 37 to 31. And then, of course, you have the trend line through here. So I would think it would put in some sort of bullish divvy in here, which is something that it hasn't got, with the exception of, let me see, maybe this right here. Maybe that just created another bear div. So maybe some bullish divergence kicks in off of this drop, which again I think would likely lead price into here. You would be looking for a closure below here. So maybe something like that. Yeah, everything was doing that. Sui, bear div, 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 bear div. Crow. I just didn't structure it out with Crow. I can't remember if XRP did or not. It looks like it didn't. The only thing with XRP is it wasn't coming above your 50. That was it in here for that. And then I was just moving the box to find the SFP off of the low, which ended up being right here. And then you're looking for your break. And then you're looking for continued confirmation. You would have entered down here. And then these would be the things that hold you in your trade. Everything else. So it didn't. But ADA, yeah, straight bear divs. Straight bear diving. Hype I went through yesterday, and I put in some daily levels in here. Just when price action come into these areas, because some of them are going to be larger than others, and that's just the swing points. I usually look at the tops and the low, and I just do it like this. I just look at the tops and the low basically. But once you tap into one, then you can start to see what you're looking like with everything else. I likely would have did that. And you see you SFP'd on 50 right there. So that's critical, being able to find momentum. It doesn't have momentum right now. Let me lock this. It'll come in handy later. Because you could blow out steam on any sort of a attempted move up. You can blow out steam right in here. This wasn't. Might hold. It's a bit of a bear flag. It is a bit of a bear flag. But sometimes we'll see this and we will get the break to the upside. I don't know if you want to look at this as an inverse head and shoulder or not. I don't know. But this looks like it might hold so far. I mean, this isn't bad. It can outplay whatever sort of bearishness it might be showing at the moment. It can outplay that. confluence is here with this trend line, so I would assume that price is going to make its way back up here towards this right here, coming back up your 20. Oh yeah, that's correct. I remember looking at this. Yeah, 2 week. 2 week was about as high as I could get on this right here. So to me, this does look like it's going to make that move up. You end up back up here somewhere. I wouldn't be looking forward to break this with this big gap through here. Not yet, but it could consolidate once it does manage to get the move up here. But it looks like it will come back up above here. You got your 60 right here too, confirming here on this 20, this 2 week, and yeah, your trend line down through here with confluence from that 200 EMA. You tend to gravitate towards it, so this could be a good thing right here, and just see some chop. If you were looking at this like it was a inverse head and shoulder, can will you please? Thank you. Invalidation would have been breaking. Most people invalidate it like that. Some people invalidate when you come back into the neckline. That's not something that's light. Okay. Others invalidate it um, if you break that. Last time I did this, we didn't make it. It was a fallen. I just call it a channel. Wherever it chooses to break. A lot of times I will just do it like that, where it had the first initial break at. I would just look back at the initial break. I'm not going to get perfect with this, but you can see how it does pretty much put you right back up here into this trend line right here, where you have that 200 running across, probably come up, chop, 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 chop above this right here, using this 35 as support, chop, 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 and then be looking for your next move up. And that can be what's happening over here. I think I did initially have that second, hold on, what is this? Let me see what this is. I don't know, but I'm gonna delete it. I hope I didn't just do that last night, because it's gone now. If I did, it's gone now. Let's see why that's off. So you got this one first, where you have your 60. So you can resist right here. It's not perfect. You can catch resistance right here first, chop outside, and then get your move up into here. So a lot of times how you can catch like some sort of a swing fail. Let me see. Okay, now that's perfect. Now that's perfect. Let's see what else is off in here. I guess it just depends on what time frame I'm using to draw from. Don't always make sense. Yeah, so instead of using, your ribbons, just map out your trend lines here, the way your momentum is moving. Right now it's up. You would have one across your low here. So if you got any sort of continuation down, you'd be able to see that, and that would be breaking your low down here. Or what looks like it could be like a bear flag or something, just like everything else. I mean, time will tell. And you get the break to the upside. This looks more like it's going to break to the upside though, as opposed to back down again. But if you do double bottom, I would say. I don't think I had make sure there's no range play in here. There is consolidation. Had an SFP of it already. Oh no. Can see that. That looks better. That works better. So there. Yeah. I mean, it looks like it would break up as opposed to down. But like I said, if you do, maybe they do a sweep at the low down here. Maybe a sweep there, and then it bounces up and breaks through here. Tends to happen when you see a sweep at the top, or just break through and get up here. That's the measured move. Pretty sure. Yeah. And that comes into whatever liquidity. So right through there. So not bad. Height doesn't look bad. I don't think I really got into Aster. I didn't really get into Aster too much. I think the last time we looked at Aster, we was looking at some sort of a range in here. Yeah, it was. Hold on. Couldn't have been from there. What was it from? Couldn't have been that because that's not matching. I know we were looking at a range. Right now, I can't map out what time frame gave me this. Not sure. Anyway, it met its maker. It made its way up there. Didn't really see anything that interested me, so I didn't do any digging around on this. You can tell I didn't pull anything out. Didn't really see anything that. No, I didn't. Nope, I didn't. So sorry, Aster. Now pump, I did go through. Take a look at here. You can already see us down here at these lows in here. It's your daily. Your daily. I think the daily was compressing, was it not? I think the daily may have been, but you're at the lows in here on your Bollinger down here at your lows. I added some daily levels through here. It's the best I could do because I couldn't pull up. Yeah, I couldn't get weeklies off of this, so I worked off of some daily stuff in here. This was the lowest point that I had. So I think you're here in terms of your low by not taking that one out and being in here. I'll be looking for a move up on it. If it does come down, I'd look for a tap into here. 2357 right there. Tap into 2357 because this will move at some point. These will move, but these are permanent fixtures here on the daily. So 2357, if it does decide it wants to do something like that. For now, it looks like it double bottomed. I didn't see anything that concerned me too much besides the fact that it wasn't managing to hold outside of 50. So no actual momentum coming in. So I did it like this. Left it like this to look for the SFPs. And I mean, you'll see your line right there on your RSI for your 50, but I left it like this and you can see how well it has held every time it came down here to the low in here. It has held. So can look at something like that for Aster. But I do think pump. I do think it gets a move back up to the upside here. At least I think it had broke this, which is why you don't see it here on the chart. I had one in here, and I think it had broke it. It did something weird. You can see the bullish divergence down through here too, but you're putting in the bear divs as you're trying to get your moves up in here as well. So once momentum actually does follow through here, maybe the second attempt here, this is going to do it. It looks kind of inverse right here already. This might actually work this time where you see some follow through here on pump, and it could be a good, if you took it down here. I don't know if you want to jump into it from where it is. I guess if you set your stop below here, you could do that. Setting your stop below that low. With the anticipation that momentum is about to kick in and it's about to get that move up, I would be looking somewhere back into here, this low, these lows through here. And that's what I would be looking for pump. Back into these lows in here. You also have your 20 here as well. So your mean is right here. It looks like it's going to make it. It looks like it could. That'll take care of the well, you would get up here above here and you would probably chop this. I'll be looking for it to hold above here once it does manage to find the momentum and breaks above here. I look for it to chop over top of that line right there. That's 2.9. Look for it to chop on that because you do have these lows in here. I hate buying into resistance. The best place to get in really is no best place to get in. It has resistance everywhere. So I suppose if you took it from here, just set your stop. I think that would be too big let me see. Yeah, you would need to spot trade this. I mean, that's a huge stop. It's a 3. You would want to spot trade it. Yeah, you would definitely want to spot trade it. What is going on with pump anyway? But you're at resistance. Yeah, I don't really like buying into resistance. Let pull back again. See on the daily. Hmm. Yeah, if you can get a back test again, that's probably gonna be better. Pull you away from some of the resistance. I'll wait for it to break above here and make sure that it's holding support here. There's not really no good place to really get in on it. No right place. Let me just put it like that. No right place. No right or wrong place. But I definitely wouldn't leverage trade this. Hmm. Yeah. Would not. Wouldn't leverage it though. What was in here? Okay, yeah. Bandwidth 1 as well. I mean, if you got some hopium slippers, it it's bound to come back into this one. It's bound to come back into at least this right here. Mm. And so I'm gonna leave this here as like a spot. I'm gonna set 5 is usually like that's good enough. Just want to see how bad that would be. I'm looking at about a 382. And then 50 there. I think these lows are possible. I'll look back at it later. Litecoin, I just kept it to the consolidation range that it's been in forever. You can see it better on a price isn't ranging. This is about where volatility lies at here with Litecoin. So I just kept it to focus on just from here to down here. And of course I macro trend line through here. As you can see when we got that October 10th. Was that the 10th? October 6th? No, it's a weekly chart. So I think it happened on the 10th or something like that. That's exactly what we came back to. I look for this to hold as our low, even if for some reason we did see price come back down here to fill in most of this wick. I would look for it to still hold this trend line through here. It looks a little bit. I'm gonna move it right there. Okay. Yeah, I would look for that to hold. Yeah, just like that. Possibly here. And then look towards this one right here. I do think big things are still going to come for Litecoin. We just haven't made our way out of this range yet. Could be major accumulation. I think it was doing a little bit better against Bitcoin here recently. Um, well, not really. Holding support against Bitcoin at least. I'm telling you, I'm loving this. It starts to look better and better every time. I'm loving this. Just waiting for the moment where we actually break through this, and we start to outperform Bitcoin here. Lighty. This was the start for a lot of stuff just like this. I mean, people talk about how trashy Litecoin looks. I mean, Zcash looked just as terrible before it broke above here. Before it did that. Once it did it, it did it. BNB, while not as bad, did the same thing. The BNBs did go flat. But Zcash, yeah. That's what I'm looking for with Litecoin. If it looks better and better every time I look at it. Just waiting on it to find that strength against Bitcoin. Rejecting off of it right now. But this is one that I am buying, building my spot position on. Yeah, we have to break out of this range too. I think that's going to come. I'm looking for. Um, you can see how we. This is a struggle buster. Lows, 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 lows. It's a struggle buster, but once we do get that momentum against Bitcoin, then and Litecoin gets beyond this point right here, hitting these lows, it'll be up here. It'll revisit these highs in here. Yeah. Just a matter of time and not it. And this is a long-term play here. I don't have any short-term analysis for Litecoin. Yep, no short-term analysis for Litecoin. Holding around the golden pocket right now. Drop down. You can look for 786 to hold. I'm going to be looking for price to come back down into here since it has respected the level down through here prior, as you can see from here. Since it does seem to want to gravitate towards it. If it does, that's what I'd be looking for. I don't know how long they leave this wick open. It's been a slow process trying to come back down here towards it. But if it does, then this is what I'll be looking at. And that's around 69.59. That's what I'll be looking for. All of these basically look the same. All of them. We're in the bear market lows here on Chainlink, which I bought some more here for my long-term play. I also have another position set for here. I stopped buying here. If we break this, but I just picked up some, and that was my DCA plan. I bought some on this one, that low, and I bought some on this 1206, 1206, and then my last buy is going to be 910. That one's still open, of course. That would be my last buy on it, and I think I bought. Nope, that was it. That was it. No, I bought this. Did I buy this top? I don't think I bought this top. I think I just bought here and here. And then I have a buy set for here. Because I said I wouldn't buy it until it got into bear market territory. And now that it's here, that's what I'm buying at. Bear market lows. Assuming, and my assumption is that it doesn't take out this low. That's my assumption. That's why I stopped buying here. If it does, I'm wrong. And I'm out of some money. But at least I'm down on spot. I'm not worried about getting liquidated. RSI has not been really bad here on the daily time frame. That's a plus. I usually look for the RSI to get kind of trashy in here, and that does not look bad. It's just below 30, just below it, 29. That's not bad at all. I would still like to see some bullish divergence. So maybe it does take liquidity below this line since it has bounced from it so many times. I'd be surprised if they didn't finally take that liquidity from it. And then that, bullish divergence could come in somewhere in here before we see any sort of a significant move. Either way, whichever one happens first, if it breaks up first, great. It would still probably put in a bear div. We've been under 50 throughout all of this. So we're not even returning to the mean right now. Mean is going to be somewhere right in here. I tried to do this where it would get as close as possible. It still doesn't always match up, but it's somewhere right here. Because of the volatility from the RSI, it's the reason why it's not always going to match up with where the mean might be at. This would be the mean, but it's probably not going to match up. So I say 1538. Which would likely be a rejection. And then another move back down, put in an inverse head and shoulder, something like that, right in here. Awkward looking inverse head and shoulder. That's what I would be looking for. But I'm accumulating here. Like I said, next spot buy would be here. If price did make its way down here, that would be my next spot buy. But we're holding. And if that is the low, then be looking for the break up here. Look for a rejection. Look for some sort of a back test and then continuation. If we're in a bear market for Bitcoin, then I would expect for us to come in lower. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I would expect for this liquidity to finally be taken. We did it with USDT dominance as well, what we finally took the liquidity from this. And everything is coming off of a 2023 low. Everything so far, well, not everything, but most of the altcoins have this ascending line, which can be problematic. I think they will take liquidity off of this trend line, off of all of the altcoins. All of them. Solana. It's a different soul chart. Yeah, this is a whole nother soul chart. No, it's the same chart. I don't recall having this in here. Anyway, I don't think I went too much further in the chart. I didn't. We're back inside the range here on H bar. This was it's from the weekly. No, the monthly. So we have yeah, we're back inside of it. We took liquidity from our mother candle right here, where we have been ranging inside. I mean, please take this out of the equation. This terrible, terrible wick that we got there. Yeah, so you have to dismiss this. But anyway, we're back inside our range. We're back inside the range here. That's what I'm looking at. And we're trying to hold it. We're trying to get back to holding it. Doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. No bear divs. So one. Had major bear divs through here. Might have stopped. This doesn't look bad. I don't know why I got that there, but it did have bear divs, just like the other ones with the bear divs that ran across here. Not necessarily so much of a bear div anymore, trying to hold 50. This probably push up further. And if it does, it's weird. I just had, yeah. Yeah, it probably would have some rejections down here with these lows in here. So just about 16, 17 cents. This doesn't look bad right here. It looks better than a lot of the other altcoins at the moment. And I do appreciate the fact that we are trying to hold the low from that mother candle after taking that out of the equation after that drop and reclaim. That's 1, 2. That could have been the low for now. Looks much better than it's much better than some of the other altcoins. I think it's outplaying that bear div for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'll be looking for a move back into 17 cents at least, somewhere in here. If it does drop, there's not really any bullish divergence in here. If it does drop, then I would just be looking for let's actually turn that off. I don't really like this. Don't really like this. I just want to do all of this low. Nah. Promise you I don't like those. And what was that? Yeah, maybe not any lower than it had been doing in here. So just looking at maybe just about there. If it does, maybe just about there, which more than likely lined up with something I had in here anyway. It did. It's that one. Just wanted to be sure. So that 1138, that was what it was lining up with. I'll probably look for that if it did drop here to at least get some bullish divergence here off of this 4-hour time frame, because price action would be the thing that dropped lower. So that's probably what I would look at, would be to about 11. But you'll see it, because we would need to get the close below this point. So yeah, maybe about 11. And right now it looks pretty good. It is holding for now. And it's back inside the range, and the range is showing that that's where our 50, where our mean is at, holding here. We'll need to lose this, otherwise it bounces and it comes back up here. I'm gonna check back on Bitcoin real quick here, see what we're looking like. Okay, so we're trapped inside of our little range in here, which is cool. If we're holding in here, we're not getting that breakdown, which would be great. If we don't see that breakdown, then maybe we can make our way up here and get that liquidity that we front ran before getting the drop. I was looking for 90,000 yesterday. The liquidity is even lower than the 90,000. It was just like $200 off from it yesterday before the bear div and the pushback down here. Golden pocket. If we break here though, again on that 4-hour time frame, which we just opened a new 4-hour candle, this is a little bearish. This is a little bit of a bear flag. It looks like we're squeezing in here as well. Probably no actual squeeze on the Bollinger, but this is a squeeze. That's the 20 SMA right there. Let me switch this. But we know that the 20 SMA is lining up along the low here. That's what we got the bounce from yesterday. Also was from the 20 SMA here. It was flat across the lows in here, following the weekend move. But a bit of a bear flag. We do have the bear div at the moment down through here. And just like everything else where we were seeing bear divs, you can see it all through here. That's why we kept trailing down. I don't think this actually matched with anything. Oh, it did. Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. It did when I did that. But I wouldn't have did that. I know that. Unless I left it like this and look for SFPs. That's the only way I would have left it like that. So I know I wouldn't have did that. But this is a squeeze, at least from the ribbon perspective. From here, it's probably not. Okay, we do have low volatility. And again, like I said, that 20. So we bounced yesterday. It was running flat across here. 20 SMA running up this potential bear flag. We have seen where we put this pattern in and we break to the upside as well. But we know if we lose this, that golden pocket 786, it was lining up somewhere in between that. I think that is where it was at. Well, golden pocket. Yikes. We can get an expansion if we do fail that golden pocket, because the low of the band was rising when I look down in here too. So we could get an expansion. We're still without bullish divvies here on the 4-hour time frame. We're still without it. So can still do that back test on that 80, which is not a monster anymore. So let me I'm gonna lighten it out. We're just back at standard deviation 1. The lower time frame be looking like we got a move in. So what it be looking like? Daily time frame is starting to look a little bit better. I think we still within here, yeah, still want to see some sort of bullish divvy in here on the daily as well. But that is that's a starter. That's a starter. We never tapped into this golden pocket either, which is not the end all be all. I know a lot of people will be looking for that or still waiting for that to happen, that golden pocket tap. I really would prefer that we didn't. As you know, not just with how we took the liquidity over this trend line. That's why I think them other altcoins probably going to get that liquidity taken over those trend lines. But because we're trying to maintain what we got in here for a little bit of a bounce up for this right here to play out over here like it did in here, which is bounce first and then break down. So I don't want to actually lose that. But like I said, if you wanted to take a short in here, I mean, you still have to make sure you're breaking down fully, but that's the way it starts. Taking the risk in here as a scalp and then looking forward to proceed down lower. Because once this is gone, we the liquidity down. I think that we're still just when we last looked at it here. We're further away from it now than we were earlier. Um, just 11 off from the long max pain, 86,298, which is closer to that 786 that we had over there on the chart. And then, like I said, that 89,258, we were just $200, about $200 off last night from hitting it, but we didn't get to it, and now we're like 18. So we're further away from short max pain than we are from that long max pain. And we're going to stay back and forth in here. We were looking at it earlier this morning, and this was like but I guess people are, I don't know. We were looking at this having being a lot more interesting at the moment. I know in the notes that I have, I am looking for a move back into 100,000, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen right now. We can do that drop first and then come back up. Just hopefully not too far off from that 26 EMA on that monthly time frame. This made its way back up because, as you know, as price moves up, market makers start shorting. As price moves down, market makers start buying to hedge and keep the market neutral. And then again, what we were kind of looking like yesterday, we pushed up into liquidity through here. We were on the live yesterday looking for that little bit, saying 90,000 could be a target, but we didn't get there, and we did not get. Yeah, we were so close, so close. Oh. Looks like we were trying to. If I hadn't been running my mouth, I, I probably for the first time would have actually taken that. Just a hedge. I'm not gonna do it now though. I'm not gonna do it from there. Some people are really good at it though. I'm not gonna do it from there. I would have needed to do it from here. What are the chances of us thinking that that bear flag breaks down and it actually breaks up? I know it's a breaking point. This is pretty much what we were looking like yesterday in here. Yep. We had just got that break above over here, and then we got that one little last flash down right here. And I know it's so I want to keep not that. Keep that open right here. I know we're sitting on. Actually, we're tipping it just a little bit. It's probably the RSI probably isn't the best. Hmm. I mean, it's more likely that we break this just because it's a bear. It's a bear, not just because it's a bear flag, but because we got bearish divergence with this bear flag. It's not broken yet. I missed it. Hmm. All right, so before I go, I'm just going to walk you through what I'm looking at. I already covered the liquidity that's sitting up here. We do have that bear flag, and we also have bearish divergence with that bear flag, which once that low is broken, it has confluence with the 20 SMA. I would be looking for price to move into that golden pocket 786. Below that golden pocket, down here as we were looking at it, could get an expansion on the 4 hour time frame that can send prices much lower. Um, so 80,000 and back down here towards this weekly level in here, that might be in the cards. That golden pocket is here as well, the one that we front ran that a lot of people probably hooping and hollering about. We didn't get to that golden pocket, and the CME gap that we left behind over the weekend as well. Those are all things to consider on the move down. It looks like a large move here from this 15-minute time frame, and it is a little less than. And if we go off of here, it's almost a $10,000 move down. Almost, if that happens, Uh, but at least from this time frame right here, if we do start to push in and break down in here, we found support in here quite a bit yesterday. I was actually on this pivot right here yesterday, and we was looking at it. We kept finding support off of this, with the one exception of where we broke down here, and of course the sweep of liquidity from there. Uh, but we were finding pretty decent support across here. That could also work in the short term for that bounce after taking the liquidity that we saw that is in here around 86.2 with that 786, and then what we were holding in here could see a small little bounce before some sort of a continuation to the downside. The 85,000 here, which did build up some support. Well, which may have built up some support because initially when we got the breakdown, um, we blasted straight through 85. Right? Yeah, we blasted straight through 85. Let me just, yeah, we blasted straight through 85, and then we came up and we, started to treat it as a little bit of resistance in here. So I was thinking yesterday, between that 20 SMA and the 85, that we would probably hit this, and we didn't. So we could back test that too. It just seems more likely. It seems more likely that we end up down here in this golden pocket 786. Like I said, we start to break below here. You start to expand, and 80,000 is still. We'll make that thick again. 80,000 it could still be. Price can still get attracted to that 80,000. We so far managed to skate it once here. So, I mean, it could still be a magnet, and that's just to the downside. To the upside, again, the liquidity that's in here around 90, 98, 98.3, we'll say 98.3 up to about 100,000. That is what I would be looking for. 100,000 would be getting back into these lows right here. Be getting back into these lows for 100,000. if we find ourselves not breaking down. It's bullish if you break something like this to the upside. It is bullish. And I did it like this earlier. Like I said, I'm not saying this is happening. I'm just, I mean, geez, you need something, right? I mean, we need something. I'm not saying any of this is happening, especially not this. I'm favoring the upside. It's just really hard with seeing the bear div and seeing the bearish divergence. It's really hard. I'm favoring the upside, but it is so difficult. I'm long right now. I probably will look to hedge. Um, I probably will look to hedge though. And no wonder we didn't push up past that. It was that low. No wonder we didn't make it to 90,000. Maybe we weren't far off from it, but I see it now. Should have trapped that earlier. Didn't. Dang. Hmm. Oh, never mind. Hold on. This is Binance. it just me or am I not seeing it? Okay, I can see it there. Okay, thought I was losing my mind. I'm like, why am I not seeing it? Okay, now it's making sense. That's why we didn't get here to this 90. That was perfect too. Hmm. Let me make sure that was what that was. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Okay. I think we'll probably make it the next time. We'll put one on. Make sure that's my point. I want to be lines everywhere. Everywhere. Won't miss it if it happens again. That's what I'd be looking for on Bitcoin. Mm. Ethereum. I mean, this would be some hopium. I did see where somebody did take like a huge long. It doesn't really mean anything. Uh, it works. It works. That was. I mean, we already identified where the best place was to get in here on Ethereum. You can see we're rejecting off of our lows down in here at the moment. If it does manage to push up, I'll be looking for it to come back possibly into here. It'd be super duper, super duper, duper, duper great if it does engulf this candle in here. This is, I mean, we're on a weekly time frame right now, but nonetheless, This would be reshaping momentum if we get back above this point right here. But I definitely will look for some resistance in here. Maybe even this low candle right here. But I mean, back at this zone in here, it might have some struggles back in this zone right here. We did have some good volume in here. We had some good volume in here. So if it's overshadowing this right here, that's going to be great. And then you will have your volume over time as well. Over price, I'm sorry, your volume over price there. Can't see what that is. I have a price note in here. I can't really see it, but you can see the line right here. That's coming in with this. That is our volume over price. Okay, so that is correct. Why is it out there so far? That is our volume over price. It's kind of hitting up with this, but this is a 4-hour time frame. This a move. This will move. This will start to drop. That will start to drop. I had already covered this. I didn't really talk about the upside, but you could see where it would be at in here. If not here, then maybe we can push up into the lows that are down through here with that. So yeah. I'm trying to stay mindful of the possible. Is it storming outside? Sounds like I have a storm happening. This was a little bit different in the sense that it was more like parallel. It's more parallel. It is really storming outside, but that's 3,084 to 32.36. Let's go with that over this. This has a lot more bearing. So we do have the resistance down here at these lows. If Ethereum is going to get this push up and Bitcoin is going to keep trying to hammer away at that top. If you keep hammering at the top, then it will likely break it if it keeps hammering at it. Yeah, this will probably do better. probably lines up with something. This isn't going to be right, more than likely. I can't do it like that. We would have to do the unthinkable. We really would have to do the unthinkable and get a break to the upside on this stuff. Bear div, of course, it's holding through here, obviously. That can be seen. Positive MACD. It hasn't really been getting too far. Had a positive MACD right here with a bear div right here. See the bear div right there? It looks just like this right here. Maybe it looks just like this with the bear div. Whatever this was. Yeah, it wouldn't have been like that time. You wouldn't have seen this until after the fact anyway. Probably would have did the parallel channel and then seen it not reach. But it had the bear div right here, just the same. It's like it is now. Might get that breakdown. When this happened, where's the thing at? To it from there. Hot diggity dog. It'll be hard on Ethereum to do that though, because again, that is the golden pockets point of control, 200 EMA. Man, we know ultimately we're gonna be looking down here at some point, but not at the moment. And then how would you pull that from here? And we don't know right now. We don't know nothing. Just put it right here. We don't know anything just yet. I should have to look back at it if it happens, if it just so happens to break down. Just have to look back at it. Breaks up, it'll probably be somewhere in here with this though. I'll take this off and put this back on my original chart. Just drop that trend line on your RSI also. Every time I say I want to catch it up here, I go somewhere else and look at something else, and I don't. I guess I don't really want to catch the short or take a short. I guess I really don't. It's choppy right now anyway. I mean, it's still, you know. I have my stop in place already for the little scalp long here. Oh, I can't trade any of this right now anyway. So haven't really focused too much on it. On it. Let me just chop this real quick. I mean, if you're short, congratulations. Netflix is back above the lower, well, back inside of the channel at the moment. I guess it was holding. I don't know what the heck it was holding yesterday. I don't know what it was holding, but it was holding something in here. I was looking forward to get in here, see if we can tap into these the lows in here and possibly even back down into here. It's still not off the table just yet, but just noteworthy of saying it's back inside the channel. So if it does hold, and I'll be looking for a move back up there and see what we got rejected from the last time, of course. What was looking good, I was looking at yesterday. We talked about this yesterday, possibly coming back in here to the top of this candle right here, to this momentum line right here. I'm still looking there. We didn't come in here. I don't have any update for Amazon. Really, this. I was looking at it yesterday after the stream. I know we were talking about it yesterday on stream, you know, how we're getting here a lot faster than anticipated, but we're about to come into the target that I've been hooping and hollering about, which is that 335, and see if we get there and how we react. Don't you front run it. We'll see how it does once it gets up to here. I haven't, and I told you I didn't get a chance to go back in and check on anything, any sort of updates on it. This is what we were initially looking at from back here. It's from this day too is where I dropped this line that day. So been looking at it since then. Almost there. And the account that I used to spot this, I terminated that account. It was just too much money to spend, and it just I wasn't sure if it was going to be useful to me or not. But I wanted to see how we were going to do with this. I'm still seeing this is the ultimate monster right now. Now I'm seeing people making videos talking about, is this going to flip Nvidia? Like, it really have a long way to go to do that. Oh, Bitcoin, really gonna have a long way to do that. This has been the ultimate monster. I'm not even in a position on it. I didn't take any sort of position on it at the time. I was fooling around with Meta anyway, so it would have been hard for me to do. But that looks pretty good. That looks really, 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 really good. Nice little support down here from this point and this point connected, and then the bounce there. Everything looks nice so far. Everything. Just gonna see how we react in there. Gold still holding up, as you can see, still holding up. Um, Back over here to Nvidia. Still looking to see if we're gonna come down here to this. That's 170. Should be a magnet for price action. I played around with it a little bit yesterday. I'm gonna drop it back down to a 15-minute time frame to watch it because I might do something. Here. If I see I can get a bounce out of it before something like that. I'll be watching for 170 today though. And I didn't see how. I mean, you saw Tesla. I mean, it broke back inside the range yesterday. I really have no words for it. I'm just going to keep saying it's going to come down here. And then, I'll just be wrong. This is basically moving sideways, circle. So that's progress. I'm getting a little bounce up from there. It's progress. I don't want to get into the crypto stuff too much. I just wanted to, but you can see gold. We got our trend line down through here. And gold is still holding. So maybe we don't get this breakdown right here. I'm not sure. You can drop a trend line across here. Look like some sort of a triangle. Some sort of a triangle formation in here. So maybe reject and then come down here. That's the best I can get for it. But right now, I mean, like, it's not violating this low down here. So there's nothing to say about that. Nothing negative right now. Oh, that almost stopped me out. It probably will come down to do it now. Take my little change and run with it on Bitcoin. Yeah. So little triangle formation is all you have right now. No violation down here. If it rejects and breaks, then again, I'm still going to be looking in here. If it doesn't, you just got the continuation. You just got a continuation. So, I mean, gold could be a good play right now. It could be a good play. Oh, I need to be on this one. I just wanted to see how we were doing in here on Hood because I'm still calling for that $100 target. It's a nice little regression line down through here, some sort of a channel or something like that is what I'm saying. Doesn't really matter to me if it goes down there or not. Um, if it comes back up, then great. I probably have to look at this a little bit more in detail right here. But these were the ones that we've been looking at here on stream. Um, Hood, Meta, Meta, S&P. Um, S&P, I was saying I was looking for it to come back up towards here. That particular day when we got that, whatever news it was that shot it up and then dumped it back off. I'm not sure about that, but was looking for it to move back into here to test here. So far, okay. I also noticed that it held up on the 200 EMA right here. I mean, you had the lows in here. I'm still looking in here. I just happened to notice that yesterday that it bounced off of that 200 EMA as well. And there's Bitcoin, everybody, with the rollover coming into the low of the bear flag trend line. I'm gonna pop back over there. Just wanted to show that real quick. That yeah, it was a bounce off of that 200 EMA. Uh, More than anything, I'm still looking in here from the. I think I was working off of a daily time frame, so I'm still checking for this in here. Still checking for that. This trend line right here was the one that I drew off of the weekly time frame here, which is why you can't see how it connects. But I drew it this low through to this low right here, and that gave me this trend line right here. So that's why I'm watching it. I know that there is a channel as well, but that's why I'm watching it. Let's see if it does want to break back in. Be bullish if it does want to break back in there. Um, yeah, Meta is gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's looking pretty good. This support level in here held pretty good. This is what it was. I couldn't figure out like what was I looking at in here the other day on stream, and I guess it was this one right here. So this is band one here off of your VWAP. VWAP is up here around 658. I didn't, like I said, I didn't get a chance to go in and update any other data. It's just like I said, um, everything that I was looking at in the chart for Meta was all I had left anyway. And I moved this line right here a few times, but as far as the lows were concerned, that was, the last thing I mentioned is that there was the dark pool in here, which was actually at 588, which is slightly below the 590, but using the fib, that was the best I could do. Well, putting the note in here, but the measure move, everything happened, and I didn't have, it was either it goes from here or it breaks and I wouldn't be in it. So nice, 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 nice bounce for Meta. So if you're following along with this from the earnings date with the breakdown to now, this is how we've been looking at it. So nice move on Meta. Nice move on Meta. All right, that's what I got. Bitcoin, a little bit of a reaction right there off of that 20 SMA more than likely. You can see where we rejected there. Again, we was at resistance in there. Here, I mean, you just have to know that there's a chance. You know, it's a bear flag. It has a bear div. Um, if you short it, that's good. Probably in the right direction right now. You might be in the right direction. I'm gonna chill for a minute for the rest of the day on crypto and probably go over to the stock market and do some trades on BTCC. So that's gonna be it for me. I really appreciate you joining me today. I need to get off this stream. I need to get off of this stream. Please be sure you hit the like button. I really, 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 really appreciate it. I appreciate the love from you because I love you. And I probably will do something stock related. It won't be a 5 a.m. stream. Um, I'll probably do something just stock related tomorrow. Be midweek. I don't stream on Wednesdays, but I probably will do that. You know, just cover some of the stock stuff. It'll be real quick. I won't be on here for a couple of hours going through it. So I'll map some stuff out there and look at that tomorrow. In the meantime, stay safe in the crypto space. Stay safe. Potential bear div could play. Potential bear div could be in play. And you've seen everything that we're looking at throughout here. You've seen everything that we're looking at, and you can always do your measure move for your bear flag too, which is much lower. I'm gonna be looking at it because it doesn't make sense to not look at it, but hopefully that doesn't end up being the case for Bitcoin, and uh, we do see a bounce up. I was confident yesterday that we would bounce to the upside, and it, you know, I don't know about today. I don't know about today though. Um, yeah, it might not be as bad as we all think it's going to be. Hopefully, it's just putting in some bullish divvies on the 4 hour time frame. If we do get that move down right now, sideways on the 15-minute time frame, looks like whatever kind of drop we get on the 15-minute in the moment would be a weak low, but not once we take out that golden pocket is going to be very important. Not this golden pocket right here, but this golden pocket right here for that 4 hour time frame. It's going to be very important. Price will start it. The Bollingers will spread out. So if you see some sort of expansion taking place, you know what we look for with the Bollinger. When that top does like that, spreads up, but the top is going to have to spread up. If the top is like this, then it's just temporary. But if you see it do like that, then it's a problem. It's going to be a problem. All right. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. We're getting there. Enjoy the rest of your day.